From gold to platinum to diamond, all in solo queue. Hello everyone, my name is Jay Morris and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be giving you my tips for ranking up in solo queue as a Pharah player. This goes for any rank, because as in the beginning of the video, I pointed out that I was a gold player in Season 2. Now, there are a lot of things that really apply to how you play the game personally and as a team, because there are two different beasts that you have to conquer before you can really, say, I'm going to rank up. So, if you want a solo queue, do it, because this is going to sound very strange, but I actually seem to do better whenever I solo queue, and that's not a joke. I seem to get more wins whenever I am by myself, and whenever I try to queue with a group, that is when I start doing poorly in my play, and that is when I start to just overall win less games and not have as much of a positive attitude. I am not going to tell you guys that if you lose 5 games, 6 games, 7 games in a row, that you are somehow playing the game bad to the point to where you shouldn't tilt, you should blame yourself. It's not always your fault, but time and time again, you see these people blaming other players for their own loss, when a lot of times it has nothing to do with the other people. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you will just get an unlucky game. Sometimes you'll just get outplayed by the other team. There are hundreds of ways, hundreds of combinations that really set a game awry and can lose you a game, and just as much as there are hundreds of ways that you can win games. But in this video, I want to really tell you guys what it is that you personally need to do to win more games. Number one, this is an overdone thing. I'm not gonna lie, this is overdone. There are a lot of guides that will tell you, don't tilt, keep a positive attitude. You can't tilt. You just gotta stay positive. You gotta stay happy. You can't get mad at your teammates. You can't rage. Here's the thing about that. On one side of the spectrum, that is very true. You shouldn't be getting on voice chat and screaming at your team and raging. That's not something you should ever do, no matter how many games you lose. But at the same time, you don't have to always be Barney the dinosaur if you lose like 10 games in a row. If you lose like 10 games in a row, you have every right to be angry, but be angry for a reason other than straight up anger. Be angry because you know you could have done better. Be angry because you used that one ultimate wrong. Be angry because you missed a shot on the Pharah as a McCree. Be angry at things that happened in game that you personally can acknowledge and can do better at, because that really means a lot, in the sense that if you are critiquing your gameplay rather than your overall game experience in that game that you played, you are going to immediately see results where you are going to remember consciously that you have to do certain things differently if you want to win. And it's very important to not necessarily maintain a completely just calm all the time type of outlook on the game. Rather, an outlook that applies to every game, because everyone makes mistakes. You get the best players in the game, they make mistakes. They do things that even like bronze players could acknowledge and that could see. I mean, there are common mistakes that you would be surprised apply to every single rank. I mean, when you think of like grandmaster players, you think that they're these just amazing players that have no faults, that are at the top tier of the game. They are at the top tier of the game. That is not wrong. It's just that they acknowledged their problems and they honed their craft. They developed their skill at whatever hero or heroes they play. And that in turn helps them achieve better gameplay. Number two, going hand in hand with number one, is acknowledging your mistakes. If you get a bad ultimate, let's say you're playing a soldier, and you ult at the wrong time. Don't throw your hands off the keyboard and go, "Oh man, that sucks. I wish the people would have been more lined up. My team should have been at my back supporting me. I shouldn't have died there." Don't do that. Instead, say, how could I have made that ultimate better? How could I have gotten more usage out of my ultimate? What did I do wrong? And that goes such a long way. And you, the moment you stop putting the blame on everything but the actual cause, that is when you will see results and you will see yourself playing better as a whole player. You have to be able to say, I played poorly on that life. I played poorly in that game. Why did I play poorly? What did I do wrong that caused my team to lose? In, when people say, my team sucks, and if my team would have done better, we would have won. If you're constantly pointing the fingers at your team, you start to forget that you're a part of that team just as much as all the other members are on your team. You are a member of 6 players that are working towards a common objective to try to win that game. And yes, you're going to get trolls. You're going to get toxic one-tricks. You're going to get toxic people in general. It's just how the game works. It's how every game works. I mean, people sit and put down Overwatch for being too toxic. Like, have you seen League of Legends? Have you seen World of Warcraft? Have you seen Dota and Smite and Paladins and Call of Duty and Counter-Strike and Fortnite? These games that have really toxic times too. I mean, every game since the dawn of time has had just these toxic people, and it's because people will get toxic in real life over things. Maybe people forget that, but we're all toxic at times, and you just have to learn to cope with that and push through that. But acknowledging mistakes, you have to do that if you want to progress as a player, both a team player and a solo player, because they go hand in hand. If you are able to say that I did something bad, then that will help you better yourself as a player. And if you are able in game to get a bad ult and be like, oh man, I'm sorry guys, I should have done this or I should have done that, and you're able to immediately own up and take responsibility of whatever mistake you made, you're going to have a better time, and your teammates will respect you more, and they will respond in such a way that shows they understand, because they'll relate to you. Rather, if you would have messed up your ult and said, oh, where was my heals? You all suck. I should have gotten heals. Mercy, you suck. Where are you? It makes a difference, guys. Believe me. Number 3 is going to be raise your ult awareness and your game awareness in general. What I mean by this is I want you to practice. I want you to practice knowing when to use your ult, how to use it, and to be aware of your surroundings when you use it. So many times do I see lower ranked games where you will see a person just run in towards the point and just ult. They just ult. And it's not necessarily a bad setup. It's not necessarily a bad ult, but they ult without seeing the map. you want to always know where hopefully the majority of the enemy team is. You don't have to always know where all six are. But if you are playing a Pharah, and like me, and you're playing a Pharah, and you want to ult. You have your ultimate, you have Barrage, and you're ready to ult. And you know that their team has a McCree, has a Soldier, has a Zarya, has a Roadhog. Know where these players are and how you can set yourself up to have a better chance of getting the highest value you possibly can out of that ultimate. Because it will make a difference to know where certain heroes are, because there are certain heroes that are better against each other and certain that are worse against each other. This is known. It's simple. That's the type of thing you learn very early on. Counters will always exist. It will never be a fully balanced environment. A Reaper will always have the upper hand against a Roadhog or a Winston. It's just how it is. But if you if you know that they have certain heroes, pay attention. And even more so, if you are going in without your ultimate or with your ultimate or whatever, try to keep in your mind when certain heroes on the other team used their ults. And with that, you need to keep your own ults in check, as well as keep in mind, okay, did their soldier use their ultimate? How long ago was it? How much has that soldier been alive and been DPSing since? Use that information. You can never pinpoint it exactly, but use that information to try to say, okay, the soldier's probably going to have ult in about, I don't know, 20 seconds. And make a rough estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect, but play around your gut feeling that you have. And don't be afraid to tell your team, hey guys, I think that the Zarya has ult. Hey guys, if you watch my competitive videos, you will notice that I say to my team a lot, watch out, Zarya has ult. Watch out, Roadhog has ult. These I can tell because I keep in mind, I don't want to say it's a skill that develops as you play, but it kind of is. Sometimes you can't really control it, but you can have a mindset that keeps that in mind at all times, because it really does help you to fully understand and grasp the game that you're playing from game to game. If you need to really become a student and understand how long does it take for a Genji to get ult, how long does it take for a Roadhog to get ult, and how much have they been DPSing? Are they going to have it now? Is this something that they're going to have now? And that is crucial to becoming a better player as a whole. Number 4 is going to be communicate with your team. I just set off about half of the people watching this video, because obviously if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it to try to get advice for Overwatch. So when it's difficult, you can't force people to join voice chat. It's just how it is. But let me rephrase this. Communicate with your team when you can. You can't change bad situations. You can't change toxic people or people that don't want to join voice chat. But you can change how you either react to them or how you react when people are in voice chat. And when people are in voice chat, that's when you need to communicate. It goes a long way to have a positive attitude. And if you got a bunch of people, if your whole team is in voice chat, just be like, hey guys, how's everyone's day going? Or just, hey guys, what's up? Just simple stuff that, it goes such a long way. You will notice how people respond to you. Go into a game if you want to test this theory out and say nothing. Be in voice chat, say nothing. And then go into another one, and when your team is in voice chat, be positive and talk. The way people will react to you and the way you will play, you will notice that even if you're losing games, you will be having a better time. You'll be having more fun because you're going to be talking to people who are like-minded. You're all there playing the same game. You're all there for the same reason. You want to win. You want to get better at the game. You want to get higher rating. It's a it's kind of like a snowball. As you roll, it'll get easier and easier, and it makes a difference to communicate. And when I say communicate, you don't have to just sit on the mic the entire game and be like, "Hey guys, the weather outside is really good. Hey guys, I'm gonna eat some soup after this. I went to Walmart today." You don't gotta do that. Just small talk. And not only that, after the small talk, once the game actually begins and you're focused, um, you don't. Once again, you don't have to lay on the mic. Just be like, "Hey guys, I think that the Zarya has ult. I think that we should push right. Reinhardt, you should maybe recharge your barrier. Zarya, can we combo?" That type of stuff. Things that can help you win games. Number 5, combo ults. This goes hand in hand with communication because a lot of times you can't help it. But if you don't have people that are in voice chat, just pay attention to ultimates. And as you pay attention, um, you need to work around the people that communicate and don't communicate. If people aren't communicating, if they're not in voice chat, then just try to pay attention to who has ult on your team. And if there are people that are in voice chat, let's say you're like, since this is my Pharah guide, if you're on Pharah, play into the Zarya. I mean, if you have a Zarya, try to say, "Hey Zarya, can we combo?" Or if if they're not in voice chat, just try to watch for when they ult, and when you think they're near it, get behind the team, and that helps a lot. Just have a positive attitude. So at this point in the video, for non-Pharah mains, this might not be like super. You're gonna learn some about Pharah mains. This might help you for how to play against good Pharahs, but overall, just kind of, I guess, pay attention. So the number one tip I have for ranking up as Pharah in solo queue is try to know your boundaries. Basically, what this means is if you're on Ilios Ruins and you know that they have a Widowmaker. Widowmaker is very popular on that map because she can sit on the back line, way back in on their side of their spawn. Be cognizant of this, and if they have just multitudinous hit scam players, be cognizant of that. I mean, if they have a soldier and a McCree and a Widow and an Ana, you maybe don't want to play Pharah into that unless you're just really good. But the second tip I can give is if you are wanting to play into a lot of hit scan, or at least a good hit scan, know when to peek in, know when to peek out, know how to play against it. Basically, I can call this tip, know how to play against your counters. Play in quick play, and when they have hit scans, because you're not going to lose SR, you're not going to lose anything for losing, just practice against your counters. Learn their ticks, because certain heroes are a certain way. They're going to play a certain way. And learn how to play against Widows. Learn when to peek against McCrees. Know how to dive soldiers. Diving Widows is like, it's one of the things that is hard to do because it depends on how bouncy the Widow is and how accurate you are. But most of the time, you're going to be able to dive hit scan players and kill them in a one-on-one. If they got support, it's not going to work out that way. Number 3, know how to use your shift and your E. Don't use them haphazardly. Don't pop shift just because you have shift up. Don't concussive blast just to try to boot people. I've literally seen, I'm not even joking, I have seen Pharahs just use concussive mine when they need to boot someone, and then the rest of the time they just ignore it. And that is such a bad idea. You don't want to do that because you really need to be aware of it. You need to, I don't, it's hard to phrase. If you are, there are so many ways to use your concussive blast. It is huge. It is an amazing ability. It's versatile. You don't have to just boot people off. Like, here's an example: the Shift E, and it blasts you off. Or, let's say on Temple of Anubis, or in any choke, if you, let's see, if you are on Temple of Anubis attack and they are set up on the high ground and they have a Reinhardt, boop the Reinhardt forward and boop him off the high ground, and that's huge. Like, it's if you could get an early pick, that's what any DPS wants for their team, is to get early picks, because that's what wins games, and it makes just life a lot easier if you can go in with a pick instead of doing a full-on team fight. And learn when to use your shift. Get out of sticky situations, stuff like that. Number 4 is going to be, if you see that you're getting countered, you don't necessarily have to switch. You just have to play around whatever is countering you. If a Widowmaker is getting you like a lot, try to stay away from the Widow and don't peek the Widowmaker. You can maybe play with your team a bit more. You can focus on just being like a flanker, or try to dive Widowmakers. It's easier than you think, and it's fun. It's fun to do well against your counters. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Is it's just fun to play against your counters. Just know when to, and honestly, know when to swap, because sometimes you're just not gonna have the best games, and you're gonna be, like, you're not gonna be doing your best, so you have to swap, and that's true of any hero, not just Pharah. Learn when to swap, because it's sometimes just not gonna work out for you, and don't be ashamed of that. It's perfectly fine. But next, we're going to hop over to Eichenwald for tip number 3. Tip number 5, excuse me. Number 5 is knowing and learning your flanks. So basically, there are so many flanks across the map, and I plan on doing a Pharah flank guide where I'm literally going to go on every single map and show you the best flanks that I use from game to game. On Eichenwald, I like to bounce up this way, and you're completely behind the team, and they usually don't even know, and I usually get an early pick. Excuse me. Sometimes you can have a Mercy come with you. Mercy can come with you this way too, but with this flank, this is the one I do the most of the time. Try to stay either crouched or move really fast along the edges, because they could see you come through if you're going this way. But you want to be really fast, and you want to just bounce behind them. Most people don't really think about it. When they think of flankers, they think of Genji, they think of Tracer. That's not necessarily true. Pharah is a flanker too, and people just don't give her enough credit for that. But overall, guys, there are so many tips and tricks I can give you. I'm not going to put these into like the tip number or whatever, but wombo combos with people, knowing how to use your ult right, knowing how to hit your accuracy shots, how to shoot Tracers and Genjis, how to play against counters, I want to do guides for all these things because I am a Pharah main. If you look at my profile, I have 142 hours on Pharah. I mained Pharah in Season 3. I mained Pharah in Season 4. I mained Pharah in Season 5. I mained Junkrat and Pharah in Season 6. And I mained Junkrat and Pharah in Season 7. And now I'm maining Pharah in Season 8. I'm going to main Pharah in Season 9 because she's such a versatile hero, and I really enjoy playing her. So if you like the video, guys, be sure to give me a thumbs up, a subscribe, and a like. And comment below. Please do comment below what type of Pharah guides you'd like to see me do, because there's so many I want to do. just let me know in the comments below, and I will hop on it and make some guides for it. Although I have a lot in mind already. If you are having a certain issue with Pharah, either even playing against Pharah, because I can talk about that. Whether it's playing against Pharah or playing on Pharah, just tell me what you guys have issues with, and I will help you out. But until then, guys, farewell.